I'm tracking rain and snow showers moving across eastern Iowa. I do promise a much better end to the weekend, even some spring-like temperatures to start the new week. It's all in your Weather First forecast coming up next.
This time last year, a much different weather story.
We were wearing shorts and t-shirts, enjoying the record warmth outside. So if you or anybody else knows Dr. Emmett Brown, tell him we want his DeLorean time machine to go back in time, not to 1985, although I do love the 80s, but last year, record warmth all across eastern Iowa. So now go to your Valentine's Day Lovecast and what you can expect throughout the day when you get up tomorrow and you exchange your Valentine's Day gifts. Maybe it's a heart-shaped box of chocolates, 27 degrees at 8 a.m. And then when you guys go off to work, you separate. Maybe you're going to school or work. You want to text each other, maybe send each other a couple selfies around noon. Temperatures will be pretty close to 40 degrees. And then you get together for dinner time. You got to have that nice Valentine's Day dinner. We're still looking at temperatures in the upper 30s. Up to the north where temperatures are at or a little bit below freezing. Even some light snow up into Winneshiek County. Down to the south here, our temperatures are well above freezing in the mid to upper 30s. So that's why we're seeing rain right now. But some heavy snow back off into north central Iowa. Mild Pacific air, the southwesterly flow into the Midwest and into eastern Iowa. So that'll continue to chip away at that snowpack. As also that warm air moves over the cold air at the surface, it'll lead to some clouds and areas of fog. Take a look at our sky cam over Amana right now. Looking at some wet roads, rain, even some dense fog settling in. But once those winds kick up later on tonight, that will take care of the fog. I do think much of the area going to see 2 to 4 inches, but a heavier band's going to set up somewhere across eastern Iowa. And right now it looks to cut through our central counties where we could see 4 inches or more of accumulation. But there are still some uncertainties with the track of the system. It hasn't developed yet, so we'll get a better handle on this over the next 24 to 36 hours. This is where the tornado would be. This is the strongest rotation, which is right over Prairieburg, and kind of move this a little bit back so you can see where it is headed next. Continues to move to the northeast. It may go a little bit south of Hopkinton and certainly to the north of Monticello. Right now we do have a tornado warning for Johnson County, and if we go back to here we go. Here's our Doppler radar right now, and where you see this pink and this purple color, that is the core of the storm. No doubt putting out maybe 60 to 70 mile-per-hour winds, some golf ball, maybe ping pong ball size hail, definitely associated with the storm, and the torrential rainfall as well. Yeah, so if you live in Girard towards McGregor, this storm is heading your way. So you want to take cover now. This is a tornado warned storm. Again, we don't have a confirmation of a tornado on the ground. It is just radar indicated. The radar picking up the winds here in the storm, and we are seeing some broad rotation, but certainly some wind gusts 60 to possibly 70 miles per hour. And right now the National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning until 6 o'clock for Cedar and Johnson County. And you can see this cell right here just getting into Johnson County right now, just to the southeast of Iowa City. Going to be near these towns. You can kind of see a lowering, what appears to be a wall cloud and a rain curtain here, and some hail back there to the west of the storm. So if there was a tornado, you certainly weren't going to be able to see it here. It would have been rain wrapped. The eye is now off the Cuban coast. It did interact with Cuba a little bit, so the storm did weaken, but it is still a very powerful Category 3 as it moves now into the warm waters here of the Gulf. We're talking water temperatures around 85 to 90 degrees, so it's likely to intensify once again to perhaps a Category 4. This clipper will dive southeast with some snow developing in the northwestern counties during the afternoon hours, and you can see snow does overspread much of the area into tomorrow night. Finally, it starts to wind down overnight into Monday morning as the system passes. Another Arctic high is going to build in with some bitterly cold temperatures. Mainly south of Highway 30 along and south of I-80 is kind of where it's at now. We'll kind of zoom in here a little bit where you see kind of this darker blue. That is some more maybe moderate snow that is falling mainly along I-80 and down to the south. Iowa City, you're getting into some of that light snow right now. Been pretty active here the last day or so with severe weather yesterday. We saw showers and storms mainly along and north of Highway 20 here today, and you can see that here on the satellite and radar. There is a stationary boundary right along Highway 20. So as that area of low pressure interacts with the moisture, it'll provide the lift and the forcing that we need to squeeze out that moisture in the form of precipitation. Now the big question that we have is, as that warm air moves over the colder air here at the surface, thanks to that snow cover that we have, how deep is that warm layer going to be? Because that's going to determine what kind of precipitation that we're going to see tomorrow. After a high of 38 today, we're now at 25. With a clear sky here in Cedar Rapids, winds are northwest around 6 miles per hour. And as we go to satellite, you can see some clearing. There are a few clouds out there. These clouds will thicken up as we head through tonight. Some showers down into parts of Missouri, a little bit of a mix into Kansas as well. And that continues to track to the north and east. Our main piece of energy we're watching still over the southwest U.S. and that will track through the southern plains, eventually into eastern Iowa as we get into tomorrow. We do have a winter weather advisory out for Washington and Keokuk County. This does go into effect 6 a.m. tomorrow until noon. Looking at some freezing rain as well as a little bit of light snow and perhaps some sleet with some minor snow and ice accumulations possible. So that could create some slick spots on the road. So you want to be mindful of that, especially on those untreated surfaces. And then Chickasaw County, you go under a winter weather advisory tomorrow afternoon starting at 3 until 6 a.m. on Sunday. Some minor ice accumulation possible as well as some snow of about 1 to perhaps 2 inches. And the combination of ice and snow has winter weather advisories out for a good chunk of the state of Iowa. Winter storm warnings in southern Minnesota. Parts of northwest Iowa could see 4 to 6 inches of snow. Some locally higher amounts are certainly possible as well. So be mindful of that if you're going to be traveling west or north. And we'll time it out on Predictor now by around 9 o'clock in the morning. Looking at that wintry mix along and south of I-80. But then as our temperatures warm above freezing, that'll change over to some light rain. However, if the warm air is delayed just a little bit, that wintry mix could drift a little bit farther north of I-80. Something we'll have to watch. But as we get into the afternoon hours around 3, much of the area going to be above freezing. Looking at some rain here back into northwest Iowa, some heavy snow by evening 7 o'clock. Looking at some light rain, heavy snow to northwest Iowa. Finally, mid to late evening around 9. The bulk of the precipitation east of I-380 with some rain, snow up into our northern and northwestern counties. It should be all over by midnight, and then we dry out, clear out the skies as we head into Sunday. As far as how much snow you can expect, maybe a dusting in some areas, but I think if there's going to be any accumulation, it's going to be the northwest where there could be 1 to maybe 2 inches of snow. So we'll time it out for you again tomorrow morning around 8 a.m. 29 degrees, a temperature, freezing rain, sleet and snow mainly along and south of I-80. Going to be cloudy and chilly. By noon, we should be above freezing with some light rain moving south to north. Those winds will pick up out of the northwest as well. And then by 3, our temperature 40 here in Cedar Rapids, cloudy with showers. However, much cooler in our northern and northwestern counties where we could see a wintry mix as well as a little bit of light snow. Your forecast tonight, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Overall, fairly quiet, 20 to 23 on low temperatures in the north. And then here in the south, those clouds begin to thicken up, especially through the overnight into tomorrow morning, 23 to 26 on lows. Your forecast tomorrow, cloudy skies, some freezing rain, a little bit of light snow, changing to rain in the afternoon, except maybe in the far north and northwest where that wintry mix and snow may hang on a little bit longer, 34 to 38 on high temperatures. And then here in the south, a wintry mix possible along and south of I-80 tomorrow morning, eventually changing to rain later on in the afternoon. A breezy east wind around 30 miles per hour, 38 to 41 on highs. 43 sunny for Sunday. How about Monday? Sunshine, 51 to start the week. We'll keep the 50s all the way through Wednesday. Slight chance of rain now on Wednesday afternoon. Better chance on Thursday with cooling temperatures in the low 40s as we end next week.